later on that fall then, I joined the Marine Corps. And when I was in there, when I was in boot camp, it was training, so they found out that I boxed. And they was showing some boxing gloves out there, and boxing out in San Diego, California. And they, let's see, I guess they was having a boxing match, so we had a chance to go out and watch them. And so while we was watching them, I seen this heavyweight, I think it was 175, 180 pound boxing, and I says, well, I could beat that guy. So the leader in the platoon, he got us together, and so we boxed together, and I could whip everybody in the area.
He was another Marine?
Right. I was in the Marine basic training.
And this was another Marine that you boxed against?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. It was from the base there. It was just
It's like a base champion or whatever.
So I was usually the San Diego heavyweight boxing champion of amateurs, I think. And then I didn't do it more till I went to North Carolina.
Camp Lejeune.
Camp Lejeune, yeah. And I was in the tank battalion there. But I found out I could practice boxing in the gym. So I got going over there at the gym, and so I could whip a few guys, and they says, well, we need to get you some training. So I trained with them there, and we boxed, and everybody around the base there, and all the bases around there. I don't know how many it was, really. But the Golden Gun, the Marine boxing was started in California. And so they sent me to California to box in the Marine Championship. And then the winners of the Marines and the Army and the Air Force went to Texas to box. And I got beat in Texas with a split decision. My coaches said I didn't get a fair deal, but anyhow, I wasn't.
Was this the second year you were in the Marines, or this is your first year?
Well, it was the second year. Yeah, it was in the second year then. And so, after all the championships and with champion, I was a runner-up. I was a champion of the Marine Corps, but the inter-service, I was a runner-up to that. And I was stationed in North Carolina then. And I trained there on the base. They had a little room, boxing room, training room. In fact, I went down there 2 years ago.
Yeah, you took the kids and showed them.
And showed them, I think. And so, actually, I was scheduled to go overseas. And I didn't want to go overseas. I wanted to go overseas, but I wanted to keep my boxing championship, the thing. I wanted to be.
Was this Korea?
Yeah.
Was this for the Korean conflict or war or whatever it was?
So they said, okay, we'll see if you get to go overseas. So I went ahead and boxed at Camp Lejeune there and won everything. And then they told me that they'd cancel my orders. So I was laying on the bed in there one afternoon. And I wanted to see the general go on to. I didn't want to be stuck there because I boxed. I wanted to. So they told me that they'd seen that I got to come. So I went down and seen the general. I don't even remember what his name was now. But he says, we'll see that you gotta go overseas. So that was happy with me because I thought I could.
Why'd you want to go?
Yeah.
Just because all your other companies
Yeah, everybody, all my buddies.
were all going to
you know,
go?
I was just punk guys that stayed in the base in the United States all the time, didn't you?
Yeah.
And so he promised me that he'd see that I got to go. So I stayed there in Bucks.
But it didn't work out. You didn't get to go then.
Never did.
Even though he said that.
Never did get it.
Yeah.
But then, after I'd been the runner-up in the inter-service in Texas, your mom was graduating from high school when I was in Texas on the inter-service. And I says, I can't go down to Texas because she was going to graduate and I told her I'd be there for her graduation. And so they come out the next morning, they says, we'll see that you're there for her graduation if you'll box for us in Texas. So I says, okay. So they told me, I don't know where it was or not, but they told me that it was a general's plane, the Marine High, was down there and they'd bring me back to North Carolina for her graduation on the day that she graduated. And so I said, okay. But so I got on the plane to come back. We got over North Carolina and they said they couldn't, the rough weather was too rough, so they couldn't land, they said. And so I went up and talked to the pilot. And he said, well, we can land it. He says, they just, under safety rules, things that we're not supposed to do or something. He says, we can land, no problem. So he said, go out and get your seatbelt on and sit down, we'll land. So they landed at New Bern there, Marine Corps Air Force Base.
How many people were on the plane? Was it just a little plane?
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, I'd say there's probably 25 seats on the plane or something like that.
Were you the only one on there?
No, there was
Some.
5 or 6 other ones, but there's not very many. There was just, and they flew us from Texas back up to the East Coast. And anyhow, it was really something that and I got off the plane and I had one of my buddies there, had my car there to take me home. So I took him back and got to go to her graduation.
You made it there in time?
Well, I didn't get to see her before. I didn't get to take her to the graduation, but I don't think I did.
But you saw.
But I sent her walked on and get her graduation. Yeah.
And then you were there afterwards.
Yeah. Lois, I don't remember where. Did I take you to your graduation?
No,
When did he get there?
he didn't get there until it was already started.
Yeah, he was walking down the aisle, I think, or ready to walk down the
I
aisle.
wasn't in a very good humor.
You didn't think he was going to make it?
Well, it was raining and stormy that night. I was a little bit concerned about him, but then I was aggravated at him.
No. But he made it.
Yeah.
He said he would be there, and he made it.
Yeah, I got there and stood down the outside there, right there at the door where she come by. Walked down the aisle.
Did you see him there then during the graduation, or was it? Did you not realize till later?
I didn't see him, I don't think, till later. It's
Yeah.
vague now as to what happened.
Yeah.
It's been a few years ago.
Yeah,
No.
the school was just a new school that she was. They
It was
that
second.
the first year or the second year that you had it?
Oh, I'd been there a couple of years.
Yeah.
At that school.
I went to Pilotsville the first freshman year.
Mhm.
Then the last 3 years you went up to
Yeah.
Jones County.
And I didn't want to be valedictorian.
Yeah.
Oh,
She had to cheat on the test so that she
so she wouldn't make it.
didn't have to get up in front of people.
Well, I didn't cheat.
Got to be careful what you say.
Yeah. She didn't answer the question.